各位业界的先进，各位易格斯的好朋友们，大家午安，大家好，我是德商台湾易格斯总经理 Steven 林广耀。首先要代表易格斯欢迎大家来参加易格斯2021年新产品线上发表会。再一次呢，今年呢也是我们面临许多展览被迫延期或取消。这一年呢还是跟去年一样。那这一次呢，我们仍然以数位的方式，以更为快速的方式和德国易格斯总部连线，直播向你展示我们新的一年2021年的这个新的产品。您也可以在易格斯公司官方网页里面下载我们2021年新产品电子目录。大家也可以透过我们新设计的荣获 IF 设计奖的虚实整合展览摊位的当中来认识我们的新产品。此外呢，去年我们为了成为碳中和的公司，我们做了许多的这个努力还有措施。例如呢，我们在台湾呢上个月已经开始了这个废弃工程塑胶脱链的回收计划。那各位可以把这个废弃的这个工程塑胶的这个链条呢寄给我们，我们可以提供折价券。那将来你可以用来购买我们新的这个工程塑料的这个脱链的这些产品。那我们德国总公司呢也投资了一家先进的这个塑胶回收的这个技术的公司。那连美国的这个DOW 这个公司呢也投资了这一家公司。那这一家公司呢可以很快速的把这个废弃的塑料呢转换成为石油，然后呢我们再借着这个油再来做这个新的这个塑料的产品。那这样可以帮助这个产品可以循环的被再次的来利用。那我们预计呢，台湾这边预计从今年开始，我们要逐年的来支持台湾大学农学院的这个实验林的造林计划。我们预计呢，今年会种下2000棵的这个树。那希望能够为环保爱地球尽一份心力。那您也可以在我们官方的网页当中呢所提供的资讯里面可以找到有关我们的产品可以在这个永续发展方面所带来的更多的贡献。那如果你找不到你急需的这个新的这个产品的这个资讯或者内容，也欢迎随时可以跟我们公司联络。我们一直对新的这个产品解决方案充满了期待。那最后呢要祝大家健康平安喜乐也能够让这个新的产品呢能够帮助你公司在开发新产品的时候有很理想的产品来帮助大家。谢谢大家，谢谢。Okay, now back to Cologne.
Hello and good afternoon from Cologne. My name is Alexa Heinzelmann and I am standing here at our igus motionplastics show at the headquarters in Cologne. Thank you for joining our show. We would like to start with a corporate presentation by our CEO Frank Blase. And a short translation, yes.
好的，各位朋友们，大家好，我是德国易格斯的这个行销部的负责人Alexa。那今天呢，很开心呢，能够邀请大家来参加我们的2021年新产品发表的这个线上直播发表会。那接着呢，要有一点时间介绍我们公司。Okay, back to Cologne.
你好, welcome, good afternoon, and hello to our annual press conference for you in Taiwan. Today, we start with what we think we learned from last year, how we got into this year, and where we are right now this year. In the COVID year, our sales were reduced by 4.7%. We think that's pretty okay considering how many of our good customers suffered. The machinery business suffered partially immensely. How did we manage to reduce the reduction? Well, first of all, we learned, like many of us, to sell digitally and remotely. We created this igus Motion Plastics show more than 1 year ago, and we had 55,000 virtual visitors, and more importantly, we had 16,000 guided tours, 16,000 customer visits, and talking about highlights and really producing interesting value for our customers, finding innovations. It went so well that we replicated this real virtual exhibition in 28 of our countries. Selling remotely is only one part of the equation. We increased the stocks all over the world to be able to deliver most of our products within 24 to 72 hours. In Asia, we have a network of companies, altogether 68,000 products in stock, and we do it locally and we help each other. Altogether, the online sales increased immensely in the first 5 months of this year, 62%, and all that helped bolster the loss. And it planted the new boom. We are experiencing a boom time right now, and we are ramping up our production capacities by 50%. We are building, as we speak, this new factory with 24,000 square meters. We are renting, in the meantime, rental facilities all around our building. We are pitching flying buildings to cope with it. We have ordered 330 injection molding machines, and almost 100 are running already. We also increased our stocks towards the end of last year, which helped us immediately to deal with the quick demand. We hired more than 250 associates in our plants in Germany, and we'll have a plan to hire 220 more, and improved our training. Thank you very much for your attention, and now to our next part.
Plastics and sustainability. How does this go together? We would like to hand over to Frank Blase again to tell you a little bit more about what igus does in terms of sustainability and ecological topics.
好的，刚刚呢是我们我们公司的一个简短的介绍。那讲到的这个，在去年呢不容易的一年我们也有受到一些营收的冲击。那因为我们的客人们也受到这个疫情的影响，那所以呢，在1年前我们就开始搭建了这个虚拟整合的这种展览的方式。那有16000多个客户呢曾经拜访过我们的这个虚实整合的展览摊位。那接着呢，我们又把这样的这个设备呢增加到全世界各个子公司。那我们增加库存量，那也这个让线上购买我们的产品更为方便。我们增加厂房面积，增加员工。所以呢，这个是法兰克先生的介绍。那接着呢，我们的总裁法兰克先生要介绍塑胶跟气候变迁的这个一些议题。Okay, back to Cologne.
Plastics and climate, plastics and sustainability, how can it go together? We have added to our company's goal, our goal in life, something. Our mission so far is improve what moves with motion plastics, and we added with a CO2 neutrality and zero plastic waste. This is a very high goal and maybe unattainable, but we think we have to set ourselves high goals to make significant progress. It's also a huge and expensive coordinated undertaking. And I show you 3 things that may be new to you, what we are doing, large and small. First one, for the recycling after the end of life, for the circular economy. We invested in the startup Mura Technology. 2019, end of 2019, we stepped up our investment to a total of 5 million euros a few months ago. And we are proud, happy to announce that Dow Chemical just partnered. They also invested in Mura Technology, also KBR, a very large engineering firm in the USA. And Mura now has the plan to ramp up the capacity to 1 million tons of plastic waste by the end of 2025. They promise they can take mixed plastic waste and turn it back into oil, naphtha, and other precious chemicals. The first installation is under construction now in England, and we are happy that we were present at the birth, and let's hope that this technology works on a large scale. The second example, going from large global to very small. As you're probably aware, we have this apprentice system in Germany, young apprentices, and we thought, what is the best way that apprentices can learn? And the best way is that they run a company. So we gave them the chance to run a company, and they selected their own product, and their business idea is to take electric and electronic waste from igus, refurbish it, and sell it online to igus associates and their families. They are refurbishing used laptops, monitors, keyboards, projectors, copiers, etc. They started online April 1st. They're almost sold out. And what I honestly didn't know, igus produces 5 tons of electronic waste per year. So they have hundreds of laptops there now that we collected over the years in Norway, and are doing a good job. And the laptops are especially precious now because of homeschooling and distance schooling, online schooling. Lots of parents don't have the money to buy laptops for their children, and our apprentices provide a very good service. The third example is we are on track to measure and monitor our own CO2 footprint for our buildings, facilities, production, and our products. It's our goal to be climate neutral with our buildings and production by 2025. And one example I show you now is on campus, a parking garage that we are planning, and we are planning it with green planted facades to absorb CO2 and to have a green lung in the middle of the igus campus. Maybe solar on the roof or gardens on the roof, also for company events, custom events, etc. These are some of the initiatives we are taking. We do think that plastic is a precious material. There's a young organization in the Netherlands, they call themselves Precious Plastics. We agree. If we do the circular thing, if we do it right. There are still problems to be solved, for example, microabrasion and the fossil fuel dependencies. We are aware of that. And our suppliers and we are researching that. So thank you very much for your attention today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Frank Blase. Now I would like to hand over to our team in Taiwan again with some product presentations by Gordon Lai and Jason Lin. Thank you.
好的，刚才呢是我们德国的总裁法兰克先生对易格斯呢，在这个塑胶和气候变迁的议题，我们公司的这个目标跟使命。那有3件事情，第一个呢就是产品寿命终结的时候，我们把它回收回来。那我们买了一家公司，那陶氏化学也加入投资这家公司，能够快速的把这个塑胶废弃物呢，能够变成石油，能够再重新来制造这个产品。那另外呢，我们也把成立了让一些人呢成立了公司。能够呢把一些电子废弃物的产品呢翻修，并且在线上贩售。那最后一件事情呢，就是我们量测观察我们厂房的这个碳足迹我们公司的这一些碳足迹。然后呢，我们的目标呢是希望呢可以 更多的措施来帮助我们在将来成为一个碳中和的这个公司。好的，那接着我们要把这个脱链呢产品的介绍由我们台湾的这个脱链产品专家赖协理来帮大家介绍新的这个发展趋势。OK， back to Golden。
大家好，我是台湾易格斯协理赖家正。首先欢迎各位来参加今年2021年台湾易格斯新品发表会。每年德国易格斯都在汉诺威工业展推出超过100种以上的新产品，而我们新产品的开发总是来自于客户的需求。就像在自动化半导体产业应用非常广泛的 echain， 自从推出后收获好评。然而我们也听到了客户的需求，例如更长的移动行程及更小的安装空间。为了解决这2个问题，今年易格斯推出了 echain 专用的支撑脱链以及 CF Clean Cable 系列。echain 与专用的支撑脱链结合后，移动行程可以增加到3公尺。至于 CF Clean Cable 系列，它的设计非常特别，它用 Teflon 的外皮取代了一般电缆常见的外护套，电缆的外径可以减少20-30%，这样子可以大大减少了电缆的外径以及所需要的安装空间。CF Clean Cable 与 echain 结合后，非常适用于无尘室。经过测试后，它可以达到 ISO Class 1的等级。至于台湾常见的工具机产业，今年易格斯推出了适用于 SEW、MovieLink DDI 规格以及西门子 S210系列专用的4伏马达电缆。易格斯的客户遍布全球以及涵盖不同产业。今年的新产品也包含了为船舰岸上供电的新产品 eDispenser。这个产品可以让船舰停泊于港口内时，不再需要使用船上的发电机，可以直接从岸上供电，这样可以减少二氧化碳的排放。另外，专门为石油探勘设备开发的 eLoop 也可以大大降低管线应用在极端环境，例如零下15-20度的环境及风速高达每小时120公里以上强风的严苛环境下管线受损的几率。除了实际的产品扩展，今年的168项新产品也包含了新的服务，例如脱链系统的36个月保固。客户可以在易格斯的网页上输入应用的资讯，线上专家程式可以立即计算预期的寿命，以及可以享有业界唯一的最高36个月保固。以上是我简短的说明。接下来请新产品事业部产品专员 Jason 林介绍 igubal 产品，谢谢。
好的，接着呢，我们要把时间交给我们的这个新产品事业部的专员Jason 林来为大家做介绍。
Sorry, Team Taiwan, we have no sound.
是我们这感端金属的。现在没有声音吗？这个金属轴承呢，感端呢是取代我们原本的这个塑胶版本的标准金属轴承，可以作为一个更高强度的一个选项。那一样呢，我们是利用这个在中间塑胶环的这个耐磨塑胶的一个配置能够达到我们湿润滑以及抗脏污等等的一个优势。那同时呢，兼具一个应用的高强度。那所以我们尺寸上面呢，总共有6种，目前有6、8、10、12、16、20，总共有6种。那并且这个是现在看到的是一个外牙的版本，那同时也有内牙 左右亚总共有24种的组合搭配，可以供大家来做一个选择。那应用上呢，我们也可以在像是健身器材或者是电动代步车、医疗器材等等的一些甚至是自动化产业的机械构造上面都可以做应用。那第二个呢，要为大家介绍是我们也是金属的系列它是一个金属鱼眼轴承基座法兰型的基座都有。那也是主要搭配我们 UC 规格的鱼眼这个基座轴承，来取代我们既有的一个金属这个鱼眼球的一个配置。所以同样的，我们可以利用我们耐磨的这一材料工程塑胶去替换原本的金属轴承球的部分直接做一个升级。各位可以在这个既有的一个外壳去直接做轴承球的替换也没有问题。那我们也提供部分的一个标准规格，可以供各位做一个整组的选配。那所有的资讯呢，我们都会在我们网站上面已经有可以供各位下载这样的一个型录电子型录的部分。那大家可以去在有兴趣的话，我们可以提供这个下载连结在我们旁边的一个对话，那大家可以去直接参考我们在网站上的一个电子型录。那里面有非常详细的一个规格包含介绍的有一些一般的介绍，那以及我们在这个各种形式的一个产品的规格都有写所以这个很欢迎各位能够在我们的网站上面获取更多详细的资讯。那以上是我这边简单的讲解，谢谢。
Okay, Jason is done.
So, welcome back to Cologne. We would like to show you some of our highlights of our 168 news that we presented this spring. So I will hand over to our product managers to share with you some of our highlight innovations of this year. Thank you.
接着呢，是我们德国产品专家他们要来介绍我们新产品的发展。All right, back to our product managers.
Welcome also from our side, just in time for the 50th anniversary of the igus echain. Rainer Rössel, Jörg Ottersbach, and I will show you the top news from the division Energy Chain Systems. We are starting today from the test lab. Rainer Rössel is already waiting there. Rainer, which news do you have today for us?
Michael, thank you very much. Today I'm standing in the igus laboratory. With more than 3,800 square meters, we are doing more than 2 billion test cycles a year with chainflex cables and echains. And today I'm glad to present you our newest investment, our laboratory for cleanroom tests. This is built up under support from Fraunhofer Institute Germany. And we have got now the opportunity to do cleanroom tests according to ISO class 1 with chainflex cables and echains. And with this opportunity, we can do tests before we are launching the product into the market. And of course, Fraunhofer Institute is doing this test at the end. But we want to present all the news for which we have tested in our laboratory at our booth. And Michael, could you take over this, please?
Okay, Rainer, thank you very much. Clean room, a very good keyword for Jörg. He shows us now the complete new echain family C6 for semiconductor and electronic industry. Jörg, please.
Hello and welcome from my side as well. The first topic is cleanroom. The applications in the cleanroom sector are becoming more and more demanding. The main markets are in Asia, in PCB assembly, medical technology, as well as display production. The demands on the production for the clean room are becoming always greater. Minimum particles, contamination and maximum service life with high dynamic values must be realized safely. In order to be prepared for the future, we have developed a new cleanroom product, the C6 echain. C stands for clean, 6 for a 6-piece chain link. What makes the new C6 cleanroom chain stand out? In the run-up to the development, we took a close look at all the technical details of the previous series E6 and E6-1. We optimized and redesigned them with the new standards to cleanroom applications. The C6 has new bending connectors with better damping properties, less abrasion and more lateral stability. Furthermore, we have managed to design the side panels with such a way that we have a small gap to each other. This reduces the abrasion of the particles during operation to almost zero. In the outer area, we have integrated dampers which endure low vibration, quiet operation, and reduce particle emissions. All components that come into contact with cables have been nearly developed from new turbo-optimized material, CR1, and the abrasion-optimized design. With the new C6 cleanroom echain, we are aiming for ISO class 1. The applications are medium travels with a high degree of filling inside. Now, from the cleanroom to the cranes, I now pass to Michael Blass with the new P4 HD. We will see us later.
Thank you, Jörg. Very interesting. From the cleanroom industry, we are now moving into harsher environments. Today, I am introducing the new P4 HD roller chain for long travel and fast travels. This chain will be used for energy supply on the newest generation of ship-to-shore container cranes with a speed of 300 meters per minute. With the P4 HD, we have achieved the balance of developing an extremely stable and at the same time lightweight chain that can cope with the enormous accelerations and loads. Compared with the previous series P4 and P4-1, we doubled the service life and the availability of cranes, and now with the P4 HD, we will increase this lifetime again by 50%. This enables us to meet the demand of the service life of up to 15 years. We have achieved this with the following design improvements: new pin bore connections, even more abrasion-resistant materials, a three-way stop system combined with a new symmetric design, optimized rollers, and a new autoglide crossbar. The chain is like a modular system. It is possible to replace quickly components without disassembling the chain. Of course, the chain can be also be used for other applications, such gantry handlings, whenever there is a combination of extremely high acceleration and long travels. If desired, the chain can be equipped with our iSense modules for predictive maintenance service, live calculation, and other safety functions, making it easy for operators to monitor the chain online. Richard Havering will show you later on more possible applications and solutions with smart plastics. Okay, I hand over again to Jörg. He will show you now the World Innovation TRX system for the robotic industry.
Now, a world first for robotics. 6X robots make complex movements in order to guide the energy to axis 6. Retraction systems are currently installed on axis 3. Retraction systems compensate for the required change in length of the cables or hose package and ensure that no loops form in the workspace. In order to be able to work without retraction systems in the future, we have come up with a completely new solution, the TRX echain. The TRX robot echain is a robot guiding element with an integrated retraction system that can be combined with our Triflex air system. Beside a 3D movement, the TRX allows a length compensation. An integrated retraction element keeps the system under tension. The TRX is currently developed with a 70 mm diameter so that there is enough space, for example, handling package. The length compensation is 40%, which means that with a length of 1000 mm, 400 mm can be additionally extended. Further advantage are the lower weight. 83% less compared with our RSP retraction system. Also the smaller space requirement on axis 3. The TRX has all the technical features of the Triflex RE chains and can be integrated without any problems. Furthermore, the TRX was developed with the easy concept so that the filling can be inserted from the outside. We explain the function with the animation you see in the background. Now I will hand over to Rainer, who will present interesting details about our new developed cleanroom cables, CF Clean. Thank you very much for your attention.
I'm glad to present you today the news from ReadyCable, readychain and chainflex. And when we talk about ReadyCable, we developed some brand new ePlan macros. We created 500 new macros for drive technology like SEW, Bosch Rexroth or Siemens. With these new macros, up to 2000 already we do have here in our system, the designer can place all the information in his system and can order easily from the system the ready cable from igus. And for example, then you can order this Siemens OCC cable harness from 1 meter, of course, in delivery in 24 to 48 hours, and very important and unique, with chainflex guarantee and UL verified. The clear benefit for the customer: easier to install, easier to order, and fast in delivery. The next news is the chainflex news control cable family CF150 and 160 MTW TCER. You may ask yourself, no, not a new control cable again. What's so new in that? It's nothing really new in the market. I hope you can stay with me and take the time to listen to me. When we are talking about cables installation in the industry, the NFPA rule says clearly you have to use TCER or MTW cables in case you have a cable track installation. So as soon as you're running out of the echain and you want to have a fixed installed cable, you have to use such kind of cables. Over the last 2 years, I spent a lot of time in testing and developing materials and developing this new control cable family CF150 and 160, which is a control cable shielded. The benefit of this MTV TCER control cable is it is developed for using as well inside of an echain with a bending radius of 7.5 times D, with 20 million cycles already tested, and with a chainflex guarantee and UL verified. And the clear benefit for the customer in this case: they can reduce the number of cables they have to use by 50% because they don't have to split cables for the echain and the cable for installation inside of the cable track. You may hear already about this topic that Semiconductor industry is a very booming market already. If you take a look at the automotive industry, you see a lot of delay of supply of cars because they're not getting enough semiconductors. Of course, the semiconductor industry, so-called clean room industry, is booming at the moment. And they're looking for solutions having moving applications and solutions without any wear. So when you're moving back and forth, and of course, how could they increase the speed of the application? But when you're moving fast back and forth, you have always some force of the cables against this moving. Of course, when you're bending the cable, there's some force again. So we developed this chainflex clean family with a clear target. One target is to reduce the size of the cable. When you take a look at this normal control or normal motor cable from igus for a normal echain application, you see the outer jacket assembly shield. In case of the chainflex clean, we don't use any jacket anymore. With follow clear benefits. We are able to reduce the weight by 21%. We are able to reduce the size by 18%. But the main benefit of this tape assembly of chainflex clean is that we have absolutely no force against its flexing compared to this kind of jacket cables. And with this benefit, tested with more than 50 million cycles, for a bending radius of 70 millimeter, we do have the full range of cables, control cable, bus cable, and motor cables. And of course, unique in the market, with 36 months chainflex guarantee, and you are verified. I hope these news of chainflex and readychain were interesting for you, and I'm handing over to Richard for smartplastics. Thank you very much.
Let's talk about Industry 4.0, condition monitoring, Internet of Things, cloud computing, predictive maintenance, artificial intelligence, machine learning, 5G, on-edge computing. And in real life? What is the guy with the helmet thinking about that? He is interested on reducing machine downtime. Yeah, now downtime for the gantry robot, for the forklift, for the crane. Yeah, this is important because if it happens, the chief becomes angry. Factory management shouts, stress, $3,500 per minute costs. Who should pay for that? Yeah, and then these buzzwords will help. We will see. Maintenance guys interested on condition monitoring, or call it iSense. We call it iSense. For over 10 years in the automotive industry, we almost deliver our technology for monitoring the machine. We have brake detection. We have cable push-pull force monitoring. We have push-pull force monitoring for the chains. All this is on cranes, on gantries, in work. And our news this year is to replace 4 modules with only 1 module. This is the new generation 2 iSense module, which is able to handle 4 of these sensors. So 3 or 4 of the old modules are passed away out of the cabinet. And the sensor data is not locked on the SD card. We hear to our customers, we store the data, we store the configuration on the module. The configuration now is possible to do by iPad, wireless. Change the values, download the measuring, the sensor data. The system is possible to be remote resetted. It can send SMS directly to maintenance master's mobile phone. And also a little satellite receiver is implemented for getting the position, for the position depending force measurement. This is condition monitoring. Another buzzword is predictive maintenance. It means nothing should happen, so we detect things before they happen. And for that, we have a lot of sensors, wear sensors, inside the chain, cable sensors, and so on. And all these sensors are connected with the second big news this year, with the new IC module. In this module, all our software is included, and this software predict the lifetime of the product, give a clear recommendation for the replacement, gives predictive maintenance information. It means if something's coming up and things running out of limit, it informs the customer very early so that things can be done before the application stops. The system also manages the regular maintenance informations, yeah, and reminds all the things. And this is not only by time, it is depending on the real usage of the machine, yeah. And of course, it's connected with the iSense technology and gives informations if really something happens. And the second big benefit of that module is the connectivity. So it is possible to get the information by a dashboard, yeah? For example, in the local network only. So there is no internet connection necessary. But if the customer he can connect by remote, by internet. It's choice of the customer. It is possible to connect it with the PLC of the machine, so all the informations can be given on the machine's monitor, can be connected with cloud computing services, MES, SCADA services, whatever. So the connectivity is no problem. We would like to say, yes, we can. If the question is coming up, is it possible to connect to? So all these things reduce downtime, reduce stress, save money. As we said, we did it for chains more than 10 years now, and also for the bearings, solutions are available. But this is not my part. This you will hear a little bit later. Thanks for your attention.
Okay, new as well, we have the iSense 80mm size new in program bearing for predictive maintenance, and it's especially for heavy duty applications. But what I want to present you today is the new and the second wrapped bearing, TX2, a special bearing for heavy duty applications. It is able to have loads up to 400 Newton millimeter square, so it's a very heavy duty material. And we have a standard program from 20 to 80 millimeter standard diameter, but it is possible to produce bearings up to 2.8 meters, so very, very big size. But the biggest advantage is the wear resistance. The wear resistance by pulsating applications is up to 3.5 times better than the TX1 we have in our program. So it's a very good solution for heavy duty applications. But now I will show you a little bit more live from our construction field outside, very close to the igus factory. And now here from the construction side of igus, I want to explain you why it makes sense to use maintenance-free bearings in all kind of machines which need lubricated bearings for now. There are three reasons. One is you save a lot of time for the maintaining of all these applications, and you reduce the time of downtime. Second, you save money because it's not necessary to put grease in the applications. And for example, such a medium-sized construction machine, they need 50 to 60 liters of grease every year. And the third argument is that we save a lot of grease and oil which comes into our environment. Statistics says up to 27 million tons per year comes into our environment. So these three arguments are not only good for the machines and for time and for money, they're also very, very good for our environment. A big step into an oil-free world. And the next news is for the food and beverage industry, our AX500. And now from our industry and application corner, we go on the exhibition, the IMPS, the igus motionplastics show, and I want to explain you more about the new AX500 here on this display. Yes, the new AX500 material, new high performance material, with the EU 10 2011 sustainability and in combination the ESD sustainability. So for application in the food and beverage industry, we have a small program from stock from 6 to 20 millimeter with and without flange, so both is possible. And we have a very, very wear resistant material, especially in combination with chemicals, water, cleaning stuff, etc. And it is possible to use in temperatures up to 250 degrees Celsius. Okay, the next news is no product, no igus or no iglidur product, it is a service. The iglidur fast line service. In 7 days, the customers get full injected molded parts from a tool where we are possible to produce series, and it is only in seconds it's configured, and you can choose if you want to have a flange bearing, a cylindrical bearing, a thrust washer, a piston ring or a clip bearing. So seconds to configure, and in 7 days the delivery with the measuring report, everything is finished. And one of the purchaser I asked and present this news in the last day, he loved the idea that we have the comparison to the other possibilities we have at igus, to machine parts from barstock to a special dimension, to print in the 3D printing shop, and the new Fastline service, plus the information from our catalog program, which size it's very close to the chosen dimension we have in the program. So it's a full overview for every purchaser. They love it, the new igus Fastline service. And now I hope you will see much more what we can do very quick from Gerhard Baus in our 3D printing service.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, that is indeed the very fast service, 3D printing, and different new materials. We developed a very interesting service for our customers. It's called the 4-key service, means that we are able to print from 4 different materials in just one pieces. For instance, we have a surface made from a wear-resistant material. In the outer, we have a housing material with a very strong hardness. And we can combine that with conductive parts, which are able to take a sensor in and measure and detective the wear or the loads on the bearing. And the last one, the fourth material could be, for instance, a seal on the end of the bearing to keep dust and dirt out. Now we came over to the igubal parts, where we introduced a very interesting program of bearings inserts. That is these small round bearings in a spherical way. And some of our customers ask us also to make and to offer the housings for these kind of bearings. And it is clear for the reasons, because also the housings, when they are made from steel, they will rust and have corrosion. Especially in the inside, is that a problem? And so we developed a series of different housings, like these pedestal or the flange bushings. In the last months, we had developed in the xiros department, we have made lots of tests and very intensive tests to demonstrate and to show how the material of the cage and the material of the outer and inner rings and the balls will work together. And we found out and are finding out that the right combination will increase the lifetime of ball bearings by a very high factor. For instance, this is the new one, Key 180, which is using a different cage material to the outer and inner ring. Very interesting, even for the Asian market, with all these materials and devices, electrical and electronical devices, we developed a new tribotape with an ESD features. Means that is a conductive material that can be used even with the glue on the outside or without the glue, and can be used in machines which has to handle electronical devices or components to keep them safe. And our last product I want to introduce to you is our gears. Gears made from plastic and of course wear resistant and lubrication-free gears. And what I want to introduce especially is gears made from our very well-known iglidur A500. Iglidur A500 is a high-temperature material with an FDA approval and with an extremely high chemical resistance. Customer can buy standard types, or they can ask for very special parts which can be offered by igus made from Iglidur A500. And gears is a very interesting product for my next colleague, Stefan Niermann, who is looking for these gears in his techniques.
Thank you, Gerhard, and welcome to the world of drylin, linear and drive technology. Linear technology, you move something from A to B on a direct way. In many cases, you use ball bearings or our standard bearings, but this one is a new one and a special one. This is made from 100% FDA compliant material. It's called A180, and the special thing of FDA, you can put it in direct contact with food. And that gives us a new chance to sell this nice product to the food industry, but also to the medical industry, for example. And another nice feature of this bearing is you see the big grooves inside. You can really wash down these bearings very easy. Another new product that was made for the linear market is the PS series. This one is made for high precision applications. High precision in our case means 20 microns of tolerance range. At the end you can reach 50% better play at the working point, because this is really molded very precise, and it's also very stiff because of the small wall thickness and the material we use, W3600, with a high compressive strength. And both together, thin wall and high compressive strength in a bearing like this, you can fix it, and you see that this axial, preloaded axial snapper gets into a groove inside of the housing, and so even for high temperature or high loads, you cannot lose the plastic out of the housing. Yeah, specially made for applications where you need high precision, for example in medical or optical industry, like you see here, but also for some simple format adjustments where it is high precision needed. So we talk about 20 microns. Maybe it's interesting for you. Maybe you know our drylin W linear toolkit based on rails like this. We have a new size in our product range and also 3 new linear actuators, but the very special thing is our new roller bearing. Look at this bearing. You see 2 rollers inside and some sliding elements on the back. Where is it made for? We are often asked for high load applications, and our rollers are not big enough, so we double the rollers now and can take double of the load, or maybe can reach the double lifetime. But if you have different rollers in a row or in line, then you have to make sure that all the rollers can take the load. And this is a special thing. You fix the housing here. You can see it here. You fix it here, and it can go like this, and you have a guarantee that all rollers that are in your application, maximum 8, can take the load. And that makes it really special for applications where you have to move big doors or shelters for machines, like here on a molding machine, very easy. or in other applications like this one, very heavy cover of a machine. This bearing can take 100 kilograms. So together 4 bearings can take 400 kilograms, and you cannot lose the bearing from the rail. Let's enter the world of our dry spin lead screw drives, or better, let's enter our dry spin shop. We have lots of different lead screws and nuts in our online shop, from trapezoidal to high helix and so on. And now we have something new, and these both look similar, but there's a big difference, and see what the difference is in detail. The DIN, the German industry standard, defines trapezoidal lead screws more than 100 years, and it works always well, especially with metal nuts. We are working with plastic nuts, so we thought about putting some knowledge into the lead screws and changed the German industry standard a little bit. And let's have a look for the metamorphosis of this lead screw. And you can see that you have more place for the plastic between the tooth. You also have rounded flanks, and you can see it here, an optimized thread angle too. At the end you also have a bigger core inside, and this makes this lead screw more stable and more solid. And what is the advantage for the customer and for you? You can run with higher RPM without getting noise or vibrations. And I think this is something that everybody knows. Trapezoidal lead screws like to make some noise, like to make vibrations, and here you can get a better result with the new lead screws. Cost down, tech up, for example, for 3D printers, for medical industry, optical industry, but also some simple format adjustments. We are now leaving the world of motions in plastic and step into the world of electronics. And we have a lot of drive controls and motors, especially to drive our linear actuators. And especially for stepper motors, we now have a very cost-effective new driver. And with this driver, we enable you to get signals to the linear actuator or to the motor very easy by Beckhoff or by Siemens, or even with the Arduino board on Raspberry Pi. That makes this cost-effective, and applications like open the door, close the door are really easy to realize. And for more stuff like automation and electronic stuff, I pass over to Alex.
Hello and a warm welcome from Locus Automation. We will come to the news, the Rebel full integrated wave gear and the Rebel cobot. All our products have always two entries idea. The one idea is buy a directly ready to use, a plug and play version of a robot with software with everything inside that you can directly start. Or the second entrance, or the second idea is build your own robot. Build robots which fits to your individual needs. Here you can see a parallel kinematic, a SCARA robot. Here you can see a serial kinematic, a SCARA robot. And everything is driven by the CAN bus, a motor controller and BLDC, which is already fully integrated inside the wave gear. Here you can see the contrast, the bi variant of the Rebel parts, the Rebel articulated arm 60 WEV cobot. We think the lightest one in the world with under 10 kilograms weight and from little quantities to have for 3,000 euros. Hello and welcome in our customer testing area. This is the area where customer can test before invest inside the robot kinematic. Of course, for integration, we are also using the igus robot control. The igus robot control on the one side is a free of cost, a free software which can be used for all igus robot kinematics. On the other side, it's an affordable hardware, a product which can combine to all these kinematics. Now we have got the topic Arbitex. Arbitex is our marketplace for low-cost robotics. We give you two promises. First promise is that everything which you are collecting on the marketplace fit together. That means if you are collecting a gripper like this, we give you the guarantee that it fit to the robot kinematics on the hardware and for sure also on the software side. And the second promise we give is the live price promise. You can directly check if it's still low cost for you or not. As a new service, we have got the RBT Expert service on Arbitex. That means a real live human integration remote meeting that you can book. You get advice, you get suggestions for your automation solution. Normally we speak about hardware cost between 3,000 and 25,000 euros and a maximum integration input of 100 hours.
So welcome back and thank you for still staying online with us. We would like to give you the opportunity to ask questions. You have asked questions in the chat. Our product experts are now online with us and can answer them live. I'm standing here with Artur Peplinski, our CEO International, who is substituting Frank Blase, who had to go to an urgent factory extension project. So Artur is here with me to answer your questions live. Thank you.
Hello, everybody.
好的，非常谢谢德国产品专家们的新品介绍。那接下来是由我们的 CEO 我们的执行长 Artur， 他要来回答我们这个 Q&A 的时间就是问题解答的时间。欢迎各位能够踊跃提出您的问题，然后我们很盼望可以都能够回答到你的问题。So, shall we go Q&A?
Yes, please go ahead,
Okay.
Stephen, and translate
The
for
first
us.
question, regarding to your delivery situation. What is your current delivery situation? What have you done to avoid the impact from COVID-19? Can you deliver your product on time?
Yeah, thank you very much for this question. Maybe two parts of an answer to this. So looking on COVID-19, we have taken a lot of different measures, more than 200 measures here in Cologne that we have taken, building additional spaces for the people in the cantina, so having distance for the people in the factory. We have extension of shifts so that we have less people on the shifts. We have home office for all the office employees, even now where the situation is much better than, let's say, 3 months ago. We still have roughly 75% of people inside home offices and only 20 to 25% here in big offices with a lot of space. So we are taking a lot of precautions. I have my mask here. Usually we are wearing masks walking around the building. And also, maybe the last thing to mention, we also have opened our own vaccination center here at igus, where last week we had the first 100 people that got a vaccination at igus. So we are also getting further nearly 200 vaccination doses this week. So our vaccination also is in process and we are helping our people, especially from the factory, to get very fast vaccination so that we can hopefully soon work and live as normal as possible again in that situation where we are. So looking on the deliveries, you saw that Frank showed you the extension projects that we are taking in the moment with nearly 300 machines that we are adding into our factory. So we are, let's say, scaling up our production massively and hiring more people, getting more machines into the factory, extension of our facilities that we are doing. Also the reason why Frank is right now not here, but I'm answering your questions. So there's a lot of investment right now going into production capacity extension. And if I might mention, compared to last year, where we had a decline of 4.7% in sales, so minus 4.7% in 2020. This year, so far, we are growing by 28% plus. So we are scaling up a lot. We are shipping much more. Not, let's say, sufficiently enough. So still the lead times in the moment are 2 weeks, 3 weeks that we are having. but we are working very hard to shorten the lead times in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, so not in the next couple of months. We are working very hard to get an improvement in the next couple of weeks. I'm looking on the shipments, but still, I think compared to other companies, we are doing very well in that situation right now.
Great. Let me translate.
Oh, that was a lot to translate, Stephen. Sorry.
OK， 我们的这个执行长阿兔哈，他的回答，他说我们增加从 COVID-19 的这个疫情开始呢，我们有200项以上的措施来确保我们人的这个安全哈，比如说人跟人的距离另外呢，我们有超过75到80% 的人在居家办公，那20到25% 的人呢在工厂。那每一天呢，我们都会有做快筛。另外呢，我们这个上个礼拜呢有成立接种中心就是疫苗接种。那就在我们的工厂里面，我们邀请医师来我们的工厂来帮我们的人打疫苗。上个礼拜有100多人已经施打疫苗。那希望我们工厂的这一些同事们能够尽快的来接种。能够让一切可以尽快的恢复正常。另外呢，我们德国增加了300多台生产设备，那已经到了100多台。那去年呢，我们公司整个全球呢是衰退4%多的这个营业额，但是今年呢，过去呢这几个月呢，我们今年到目前为止成长了28%。所以呢，我们呢做了非常多的这个努力，能够确保这个交货呢能够不受太大的冲击跟影响。All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Stephen, for this translation of a long text.
And I couldn't have said any better in Taiwanese. Thank you for this.
Okay, another question. Regarding to dry tech bearing, which industry is your major client, and have you had a significant growth in those industries?
So that is a question for Tobias Vogel, who is joining us.
Yes, hello. Yeah, it's a good question. Which industry is the biggest we could grow? And you see it on your news, especially the TX2 and the AX500. So we see a lot of opportunities in the heavy-duty application for construction machines, agriculture machines, or offshore applications with the TX2 material, and the food and beverage industry. I think it's a growing industry in general, and with our advantages of maintenance-free and lubrication-free bearings, we see much more opportunities in the future.
Okay, let me translate. 我们的这边轴承的产品呢，其实很广泛的被应用哈。那我们在这个重工业，或者是在这个港口的设备，或者是离岸的一些使用，都有很好的这种表现。另外在包装机械食品机械等等，所以呢，我们的这润产品有许多的优点，能够帮助我们的客人有更好的他的产品呢有更好的使用寿命还有更好的这个表现。I'm done. Thank you, Tobias. Thank you. And another question related to echain. Does SKF15 have openable version? Your e-skins, SKF15.
Okay, that would be a good question for Jörg Ottersbach.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, the eSkin Flat series with two different designs. One design is a completely closed design, and one design is a openable design. It is possible to add the cables or hoses from the outside when the cables are harnessed with connectors or different modules. It's very easy to change defect cables or hoses, or to add your application with more cables and hoses inside for the clean room industry.
在无尘室使用的这个 SKF15的这个链条呢，我们呢也让客人呢可以很容易的来更换里面如果功能已经失去的这个电线，所以呢很容易可以更换我们的产品。Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Another question regarding to Triflex. Your TRX looks great. Can it be connected to the existing Triflex R?
Yes, very easy. That's also for me. Jörg speaking. Yeah, this is very easy. The answer is compatible with the Triflex R chain. In the area of the robot on axis 3, you use the new TRX with the extension module and the pullback module inside. And for the rest of the application, you can use the TRE or TRC chain. You have an adapter on the chain, and you can add it together.
Okay, thank you. 我们这个 TRX 可以跟我们 Triflex 可以连接在一起。那详细的产品的这个规格，我们的产品这个负责人赖家政协理会在跟您跟客人呢这边在做详细的这个解释跟说明。All right, it's done. And another question. Will there be a SKF supporting chain with the bending radius smaller than 40 millimeters?
That's also for me. Thank you.
Yeah,
so SKF, the supporting chain inside the SKF chains, we have 3 different bending radius. One is with 70 millimeters, the smallest is 40 millimeters, and one in the middle of this. And the supporting chain is only usable if you have a longer travel. For small travels, for example, 200, 300 millimeters for the iskin flat, it is possible to use the iskin flat without external supporting chain inside. For long travels, for 600, 700, 800 millimeters, you have to use the supporting chain inside. Yeah, for more acceleration and more speed.
Okay, got it. 如果比较长的这个行程呢，我们是有提供supporting chain 可以来给客人来使用。All right, thank you. Another question regarding to drylin. Our dryspin. Okay, what is the maximum load of your nut? Dryspin.
Yes, thank you for this question, Stephen. Hello to Taiwan. This is depending on the diameter of the lead screw and also of the pitch of the lead screw. We can carry up to 400, 500 kilogram per lead screw, but then the speed is not so high. So it's a various. It's going from very fast speed with low load up to high loads, high static loads with low speed. So that's the maximum diameter we offer for our lead screws at this time is 70 millimeters.
Stefan, can we
so this is the biggest
Can
one.
you activate your camera, please, so that we can have you join us, if possible?
Sorry?
Can you activate your camera, Steve?
My camera is activated.
Okay,
so
then it was a technical problem.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. There we go. Here you are. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
So I translate. 刚刚我们的产品主管呢有回答，就是说这个 load 这个负载是看那个螺杆的这个直径。那我们有400公斤或更大的负载都有。那所以呢，我们local 的这个产品的这个经理也可以为各位做再更详尽的介绍，尤其它跟速度跟其他的这个参数都有关系。 All right, I'm done. Another question, also related to drylin team. What is drylin W's maximum speed? Is it resistant to strong acid?
Are you right? There are two questions about the maximum speed and about the resistance. Okay, perfect questions. Thank you. I think one of the big advantages of sliding bearings is that we have no limit in speed. So we have applications where we can run with 20 meters per second. It's depending on the load. If you have low load, let's talk about 2, 3, or 4 kilogram. We can easily go for 20 meters per second. What is not possible for ball bearings, because ball bearings will stuck on the rails, balls will not roll anymore. So this is no problem for the plain bearings. So unlimited speed, or in applications we reach up to 20 meters per second. If you have acids in your surrounding, then it's easy to take these stainless steel solutions that we have for the drylin W series. This is a special stainless steel, soft stainless steel, where we can run with our bearings. And this is the highest corrosion resistance that you can get on the market. So both are excellent solutions for high speed or for corrosion resistant.
Got it. Let me translate. 刚刚我们产品专家的回答就是说我们的这个速度呢，有的应用呢可以到每秒20米。那至于这个抗强酸的部分呢，我们标准的产品就有这个抗强酸的这种表现，所以呢这两个问题呢，我们都有很好的解决方案。All right, thank you, Stephen.
Thank you.
Another question related to chainflex. If a customer is saying, if we buy CFA 198.061.FC, do you have the tool to cut cable easily?
It is a very good question. It's a fast connect Profinet cable. It's a standard tool where you can get basically in every dealer for electrical parts. We don't have this tool in our range in selling today, but if it's necessary, we can offer it as well. But it's a standard tool for fast connector cables Profinet. So we don't have it today, but if necessary, we can sell it. Yes.
Got it.
But it's a standard tool you can buy from every electronic dealer for fast connect connectors.
OK， 这个电线的版本呢，目前我们没有工具可以去裁切这个电线电缆，但是呢，我如果有需要，我们也可以发展。那同时呢，其实在外面的一些电子或者电线的这个5金的这个那个商店呢，也可以买得到这些工具。All right, another question also, I thought it's similar to previous question. In the future, because igus cable, from my experience, is not that easy to cut. So in the future, would you develop the tool to cut the cable?
Stephen, maybe we're talking about strip the cable or cut the cable?
Strip the cable.
Strip the cable.
And also both.
Yes, of course, because of the special jacket extrusion which protecting the cable in the echain, it is not that easy to strip. But maybe we are offering today the CF rip tool inside of the cable. So mainly of the cables we have today is the CF rip, which you can easily open the jacket like a zipper on a plastic bag to open the echain as a cable. This inside of an inner jacket of a shielded cable or inside of an unshielded cable in the jacket. This orange fiber which you may see. Maybe Stephen, you can show this later to this person asking for.
Okay. Let me translate. 我们的电线呢要剥皮的话，我们已经有预埋一条线在里面，所以可以很容易的把这个线呢剥皮。另外呢，别的功能如果有需要的话，我们电线的产品这个专员可以在会后呢再跟我们的客人再做详尽的介绍。All right, thank you. 因为时间的关系 ，because time now 421. Okay. We can answer them by our local representative. The rest of questions.
So thank you very much for joining us and for interacting with us by your questions. We hope you enjoyed the show. We would like to say thank you from Cologne, from Artur Peplinski and myself.
Thank you very much.
And we will hand over to Taiwan once again. Bye-bye for now.
OK， 非常谢谢各位台湾这边的这个朋友们收看我们的新品发表。那德国呢在这里呢跟大家致谢，谢谢大家，谢谢。
谢谢。
Back to Cologne.
It's Drytech, and it makes you feel alive. Drytech, and it's gonna give some dry. Drytech, and it makes you feel alright.
我们会致赠小礼物给你们，谢谢大家，谢谢大家，祝大家健康、平安、喜乐，谢谢大家。
It's Drytech, and it makes you feel alive. It's Drytech, something real to dry. Drytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see to be alive? It's Drytech, and it makes you feel alive. Drytech, and it's gonna give some dry. Drytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is do you wanna do to see to be alive? It's Drytech, and it makes you feel alive. It's Drytech, something real to dry. Drytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see to be alive? It's Drytech, and it makes you feel alive. Drytech, and it's gonna give some dry. Drytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is do you wanna do to see to be alive? It's Drytech, and it makes you feel alive. It's Drytech, something real to dry. Drytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see to be alive? It's Drytech, and it makes you feel alive. Drytech, and it's gonna give some dry. Drytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is do you wanna do to see to be alive? It's Drytech, and it makes you feel alive. It's Drytech, something real to dry. Drytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see to be alive? It's Drytech, and it makes you feel alive. Drytech, and it's gonna give some dry. Drytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is do you wanna do to see to be alive? It's Trytech, and it makes you feel alive. It's Trytech, something real to dry. Trytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see you feel alive? It's Trytech, and it makes you feel alive. Trytech, and it's gonna give some dry. Trytech, and it makes you feel alright. What else do you wanna do to see you feel alive? It's Trytech, and it makes you feel alive. It's Trytech, something real to dry. Trytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see you feel alive? It's Trytech, and it makes you feel alive. Trytech, and it's gonna give some dry. Trytech, and it makes you feel alright. What else do you wanna do to see you feel alive? It's Trytech, and it makes you feel alive. It's Trytech, something real to dry. Trytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see you feel alive? It's Trytech, and it makes you feel alive. Trytech, and it's gonna give some dry. Trytech, and it makes you feel alright. What else do you wanna do to see you feel alive? It's Trytech, and it makes you feel alive. It's Trytech, something real to dry. Trytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see you feel alive? It's Trytech, and it makes you feel alive. Trytech, and it's gonna give some dry. Trytech, and it makes you feel alright. What else do you wanna do to see you feel alive? It's Trytech, and it makes you feel alive. It's Trytech, something real to dry. Trytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see you feel alive? It's Trytech, and it makes you feel alive. Trytech, and it's gonna give some dry. Trytech, and it makes you feel alright. What else do you wanna do to see you feel alive? It's Trytech, and it makes you feel alive. It's Trytech, something real to dry. Trytech, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see you feel alive? It's Trytech, and it makes you want to do to see the beam of light? It's brighter, and it makes you feel alive. It's brighter, something feels so bright. Brighter, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see the beam of light? It's brighter, and it makes you feel alive. Brighter, and it's gonna feel so bright. Brighter, and it makes you feel alright. What else do you wanna do to see the beam of light? It's brighter, and it makes you feel alive. It's brighter, something feels so bright. Brighter, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see the beam of light? It's brighter, and it makes you feel alive. Brighter, and it's gonna feel so bright. Brighter, and it makes you feel alright. What else do you wanna do to see the beam of light? It's brighter, and it makes you feel alive. It's brighter, something feels so bright. Brighter, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see the beam of light? It's brighter, and it makes you feel alive. Brighter, and it's gonna feel so bright. Brighter, and it makes you feel alright. What else do you wanna do to see the beam of light? It's brighter, and it makes you feel alive. It's brighter, something feels so bright. Brighter, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see the beam of light? It's brighter, and it makes you feel alive. Brighter, and it's gonna feel so bright. Brighter, and it makes you feel alright. What else do you wanna do to see the beam of light? It's brighter, and it makes you feel alive. It's brighter, something feels so bright. Brighter, and it makes you feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see the beam of light? It's brighter, and it makes you feel alive. Brighter, and it's gonna feel so bright. Brighter, and it makes you feel alright. What else do you wanna do to see the beam of light? It's brighter, and it makes you feel alive. It's brighter, something feels so bright. feel alright. What is what you wanna do to see the people light? It's Drytech, and it makes you feel alive. Drytech, and it's gonna give some dry. Drytech, and it makes you feel alright. What else do you wanna do to see the people light? It's Drytech, and it makes you feel alive. It's Drytech,